Hey ladies, welcome to the first episode of the Serenity Dreamer Podcast. It's been kind of crazy because I have stopped and started and stopped and started and deleted this first episode. I'm not even going to admit to how many times I've done that, but I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that this first episode was everything that you guys would want. And that, again, is my fear and I guess you could say, my fear to keep me from doing this podcast. So here we are, the first episode, and I'm just going to jump into it. And the first episode, I was thinking, what is the Serenity Dreamer? Who is the Serenity Dreamer? I guess that's a big thing that I needed to answer this first episode, just because to me, the Serenity Dreamer means the person that is a dreamer, the person that when they close their eyes, they see themselves doing something else in their jobs, or they see themselves being somewhere, moving somewhere. When I close my eyes, I always see me and my husband and my daughter on the beach and looking out my window and seeing the ocean. Now, I am not right there right now, but that's the whole point of being a Serenity Dreamer. It's the person that dreams of being more than they are now. The Serenity Dreamer is the person that has all these goals and they're trying to work towards them, whether they know how to work towards them or not. They're still pushing towards those goals. And I think so many times as women, we get so caught up in our daily routine that we forget about those goals, or we put them on the back burner. And that's so unfair to us. We always have to have goals and aspirations. But as women, sometimes we kind of play second fiddle to our own self. The Serenity Dreamer is also the woman that just feels like they were meant to be more and do more. Maybe they don't know what to do or why they feel this way, but the Serenity Dreamer is that person that knows and just feels like they should be doing more. I think as we get older, we forget about dreams and aspirations as women. I think we get married and we get into our lives with being married and being with our significant other, and maybe throw kids into the mix, and we become career women or we become home career women, and we just put ourselves on the back burner so much. And those dreams and aspirations that we had, we don't think about anymore. We just become who we are in our life, which is great to be the best mom, the best wife, and, if you have a career, work towards being that career woman, if that's what you want, or being the best home mom. Whatever that looks like for you, it's great to be like that. But what about you? As a woman, what about you? What do you want? And I know that is like a famous saying in The Notebook, the movie, but I've asked so many women in the past, what exactly do you want? What do you want in life? Like, what do you see yourself doing? What do you see yourself making you happy? Are you holding yourself back from something wonderful because you think that's what you have to do, when in reality, you don't have to? I speak with so many women. When I ask them that question, they don't know the answer. They knew at one time when they were either in high school or a young adult, when they were single, or after they got into a career field. They know where they want to go in that career. But when we start to add all, I call them the extras, into our life as a woman, we put everything else behind us. Being a wife or being a mom does not mean goals have to be put in a chest and locked away and never thought of again. And I had to learn that the hard way, because obviously most of you guys know my story. I lost my son in 2012. And up until that point, I didn't think that I could reach my goals. I didn't think that I needed to do anything else but be a mom and a wife, and the job that I had, that was it for me. And I look back now and I had no goals. I was just living day by day. And I feel that so many women do the same thing. I live day by day, living for my child and my husband and my career, but I never asked myself what I wanted. What did I really want in life? Was this as good as it was going to get? Not to say it was bad, because it wasn't bad at all. But again, I had no goals. And I believe you have to have goals in life to be more, to be what you were meant to be here on this earth. And for some of us, that might be that you feel your purpose is to be a mom or a career-oriented woman, or both, or maybe just a wife. That's fine too. But if you're like many women that I have met, most of the time you feel like you're meant for something more. Not saying that you're wanting to get divorced and, forget about your kids and your career. It's not saying that. It's how do we figure out in our life the happy medium, the balance between living our life's purpose and balancing everything else that we have going on in our life on a daily basis. And all of you know there are so many things that go on. Unfortunately, we were, and I say unfortunately lightly, I'm kind of making a joke here, but, we were given the female, we were the female, and we have to do all these things and take care of the kids, take them to school, get their lunch ready, help them study, do the laundry, do the dishes, and hopefully, if you're in a relationship, your other half does some of them. But there are some women out there that they have to deal with all these things at one time, all the time. And then let's just go ahead and throw in there the taking care of parents or other siblings possibly. You never know. There's just so much going on. And that was kind of like my little rant. But what do you want? When you close your eyes, where do you see yourself? And if you're listening to this podcast, I'm guessing you want more. You believe that you were meant for something more, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or you're a horrible mom or wife for wanting more. You just got to find out what your serenity dream looks like and get everybody involved in your life in on it. But before you can get others in on your dreams and aspirations, you have to figure out yourself, what do you want? And you have to ask yourself an honest question. Because I feel like everything in life, if you want it bad enough, you can obtain whatever that is. There's nothing going to stop you. When you make the choice in life that you're going to do something, you're the only one that can stop yourself from reaching your goals. It's you. You're the person that you have to rely on. Stop making excuses on why you can't do something. Because I don't have the money, I can't quit my job, I can't, whatever that I can't is. Stop saying you can't and figure out how you can do it. You can do it. There's always a way to do it. Even if it's just one baby step at a time to get where you want to go, you can still do it. You just have to stop telling yourself you can't. And girl, trust me, I feel you. I know the feeling of not being able to do it. I know the feeling of I can't, because I said that to myself all the time. And I said that to myself years after my child loss. You know, I thought that I had to stay in the place that I was in. But ladies, what I did was, when I was sitting on my couch with my little miniature dachshund, divorced again and childless, I made the decision, I'm not going to live like this anymore. And I worked towards being and doing and living a life with purpose. Because even back then, ladies, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what my purpose was. My purpose, I thought, was to be married with my military husband and my child and live out my life like that. I thought that was my purpose. But that was ripped away from me. And just like other women that have gone through trauma and have gone through so much in their life, you think that that's it. That this is what is supposed to happen to you in life. But I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Everything in life happens for a reason. There is a reason why you go through the things you go through. And trust me, I get like so many negative comments about saying that, but I truly believe that, even with my child loss. Because if I didn't go through my child loss and go through and get to that dark place where I didn't even care if I lived or died, to come back from that was so hard. It's not easy. Nothing in life is easy. But I did, and now I'm married. I have a beautiful daughter that I wouldn't have had if I would have given up. I have a life with purpose, and I live my life totally differently than I didn't. Every trauma that you go through in life, and trauma could be anything for anybody. So trauma to me, obviously my worst trauma is my child loss. But for you, there's so many things that happen to women, on a daily basis. Women are raped. Women lose children, whether it's by miscarriage or when they're toddlers like me, or when they're adults. I know so many women like that. Whether your trauma is you lost the job during COVID or during these cutbacks that are going on now, and that was your whole goal and aspirations in life was to flourish in that job. Or whether it's your boyfriend broke up with you and it was completely devastating because when you closed your eyes, that was your future. Don't downplay your trauma. I say all that to say, don't downplay your trauma. Everybody's trauma is the biggest trauma to them. And a lot of people kind of blow it off. Oh, well, my trauma is not as bad as her trauma, so I just don't need to worry about it. And you tuck it away. You put it in that little box and you tuck it away, and it's in your subconscious mind. And guess what? That trauma is holding you back. You have to bring it forward and deal with that trauma. You have to deal with it. Only when you deal with that trauma can you move forward. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I just don't know how to move forward. And that's the good thing about this podcast is I'm going to share things with you guys in the future, and I'm going to talk with people in the future on how they got through their traumas, how they got through the thing that was holding them back. But I can tell you, you can get through it. And when you look back at it later on, you can say, man, I was strong. Man, I can do anything. Because you'll get to a place where you believe that you can do anything. And that's the place that I'm at now. I used to have an affirmation, and I still do have it, but I don't use it as often as I used to. But I used to tell myself when I made that decision that I was going to live my best life and I was going to figure out how to get through grief, I said an affirmation. And my affirmation was, I've already lived my worst day. Every day after that will be better than that day was. Something that probably is not proper English and is not something that means something to everybody, but it meant something to me. And I used to say that over and over and over again, even though I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at first. But eventually, guess what? I started to believe it. And as I took all these baby steps towards my big step that I wanted to be, that shiny object that everybody sees at first, that they think that you're supposed to go from 0 to 10 and get to that shiny object. I took all those little baby steps. And then guess what? Finally, I got to that big shiny object. Because I think, especially in society now, I think that everybody sees that shiny object. They see, I'm going to say that influencer that has 1 million followers and makes all this money, or, they see that CEO or that, business owner or whatever you see, and they see him at their end, but they haven't seen him from the beginning. And I think that is part of our problem as women is we think as we go on And we do all these different things that we should already be there. But just remember, everybody gets there in their own time. They get there for me, when God's ready to put them in that place. So remember, everything happens for a reason. Our life is not meant to only be happy. And I think that's where people get confused about that saying, everything happens for a reason. Not everything's going to be happy, but it's how you take those traumas or those bad things that you wish never happened to you and move forward with them. Because they make you stronger, as I said. They make you more resilient to things in society that once bothered you. You're going to figure out, as you go through all of this stuff, what your purpose is. Because some people don't even know what their purpose is. They think that their purpose is the job or the kid or the husband. And they really don't know what their purpose is. So today and in this episode, that's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and don't think about anything but what your dream is, what your serenity dream is. Where are you at? Who are you with? What are you doing? And it could be on vacation, or it could be something simple like sleeping. I don't know. Some people, we don't get that much sleep if you're a mom. What does your simple serenity dream look like? And then after you pick that serenity dream, or you can see that serenity dream when you close your eyes, then I want you to add to it. And I'll give you an example. Like mine, like I said earlier, mine is living on the beach and being able to see the beach out my window, and being with my child and all my many animals, because I have a gazillion animals and way too many. But I see myself as an entrepreneur. I see myself as my own boss. I see myself being able to do whatever I need to do for my child and not having to worry about asking off for it. I see myself being a big provider in my family, so my husband doesn't have to work as hard. I see so much more than just being on the beach. And that's what you have to do. Where are you at? Are you in the right place? And I go back to who, what, when, where, why. Why do you want to live this dream? What is it about it? Does it give you happy? Does it give you a better understanding about life? Where are you? Where are you in society? And then after you figure out where you are and what you want, then figure out how you're going to get there. And if you're like me, I couldn't just quit my job and decide, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur. I couldn't do that because I was too far in. You got to remember when I was in my 30s. So I couldn't just be like, yeah, I'm going to be, not responsible at all, and I'm going to quit my job and we'll just see what happens. It didn't happen like that for me, and I couldn't. And a lot of women out there are the same exact way and in the same place that I was. But I took the baby steps towards it. So decide and try to figure out what your baby steps are to go towards it. And it might be something as little as, I'm going to start that group today, or I'm going to post more, or I am going to open up that shop, or I'm going to start that podcast or start recording the podcast. Sometimes you don't need money for those things. I mean, podcasts, yes, that costs, but you can go out and get podcasts that are free for the first 2 hours that you record every time. Or, everybody, I want to start an online business. Well, Shopify, the first 3 months you pay $1. Stop making the excuses and start figuring out how. And yes, trust me, it is a lot of work and it is a lot of constant. And when you want to relax, it's still pushing more. But you can do it. So this week, sit back and think about your dream. Bring those dreams up that maybe you had at one time and now you're ready for them. Stop feeling like you should do more and start working towards them. I'm telling you, you will be a happier person before you even reach those goals if you just start thinking about you and start thinking about what you want for a change. And there's no reason to feel guilty. There is no reason to feel bad because you're thinking about yourself. Because to be the best mom, to be the best wife, you have to provide for yourself. And you have to have self-love for yourself. And I am the world's worst. I did not think that for a long time. It was all about everybody else except myself. But today, it's not. And that's what you just need to do. So write down what you're thinking. Write down, literally close your eyes and find out where you're meant to be. Once you figure out that, you can start moving forward. If you haven't heard it today, then I'm going to tell you, I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know being the woman you are, you have so much inside of you to be, to share, and to live. You have a purpose, and your purpose, I can tell you right now, is not to give up on everything that you ever wanted. It's to figure out how to add what you want into your life, no matter what it looks like right now. And I'm proud of you for listening to this podcast, and I'm proud of you for wanting more and for being interested in what the heck is the Serenity Dream Podcast. What's this? I'm proud of you for listening. You are strong. You are needed. You are important. So let's do it. Let's figure out life, no matter where you are in life. Young adult, 30s. I guess 30s is still young. Mid, 40s, 50s, 60s, wherever you are. Because remember, history shows you that people find their purpose at all different ages. Remember that. It's not just I have to hit where I need to be by my 20s, the end of my 20s, or in my 30s. Heck, even 40s. Look at Vera Wang. Look at all these women before. Oprah. There's another one for you. It didn't come easy to them. But guess what? They stuck with it and they did it. And that's exactly what you have to do. I guess I'm going to end there for this week's episode. And this first episode. And I hope you have enjoyed it. And we're just going to continue looking and diving into things that I feel stop people in their tracks. Stop them from being who they could be and being what they're meant to be. Because everybody has a purpose and everybody is meant to have victory. They're meant to find their serenity dream. So, with that being said, take care this week. Start thinking about what your serenity dream is, because I know you're already a serenity dreamer.